when you get to the parties, they come out and collect everybody's phone. So now it's just your word against a billionaire. You're gonna lose. He's a sexual deviant and he plays with dark magic. These are facts. And you always see these people who have these meteoric rises. Nobody's giving them, nobody's backing them. They just like they did it from the ground up. And the trade-off with that is you have to perpetuate darkness.
Imagine this. A trusted insider, a former celebrity bodyguard, has just detonated the ultimate bombshell on Diddy's world, claiming those infamous secret parties weren't just wild nights after all. According to Big Homie CC, those gatherings were gateways into a far darker machine, a system of occult symbolism, humiliation rituals, and elite exploitation hidden beneath Hollywood's polished glow. He insists what the public once dismissed as whispers of superstition and conspiracy are, in fact, real, organized, and protected by power. And now he says the same man who once ran Bad Boy Records is trying to erase him from existence for speaking out.
And music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. A new lawsuit filed by a producer and videographer on Diddy's latest project accuses him of assault.
This is the 5th lawsuit against Diddy since November. The first one, filed by his ex, Cassie, was settled. Here to break it all down, Better Call Brian, ABC News contributor and attorney Brian Buckmeyer. Thanks for being with us.
The timing couldn't be sharper. Diddy is already behind bars, serving more than 4 years after a federal conviction on solicitation-related counts. Just weeks ago, the Bureau of Prisons extended his sentence to June 2028. And the LA County Sheriff's Department confirmed it had opened a new investigation into a 2020 allegation from music producer Jonathan Hay. Hay accused the mogul of humiliating and violating him during a photo shoot for a Notorious B.I.G. remix project, saying Diddy exposed himself, watched explicit material on his phone, and used one of Biggie's shirts in ways that shocked investigators. The producer later told police that months afterward, he was lured to another meeting, blindfolded, and confronted by a furious Diddy, who accused him of being a snitch. These new reports, already circulating through LA's Special Victims Bureau, have added pressure to an already collapsing public image. Against that backdrop, Big Homie CC's allegations sound less like gossip and more like an insider's emergency broadcast. He says he has witnessed Hollywood gatherings where high-profile names, many of whom still appear on magazine covers, participate in dark ceremonies designed to control and humiliate.
Look at how many people he affected negatively. That was his trade-off to gain what he had. His former bodyguard, Gene Deal, said he seen him doing a ritual where they killed a dove. What is that? And I feel like it's being overlooked because they see him doing the dance moves with the baggy clothes. You know, some of the ladies in his videos were transsexual ladies.
According to him, the symbolism isn't accidental. It's a code understood by those who traded their privacy and morality for influence. Goats, candle-lit pentagrams, hand gestures tied to occult orders. He claims these are not props but signatures of allegiance. And in his telling, Diddy isn't acting alone. He's a middleman in what the bodyguard calls an elite food chain, where pleasure, blackmail, and spiritual corruption intertwine to maintain dominance. We can't ignore how neatly this overlaps with Diddy's legal spiral. The federal indictment against him already read like a map of a hidden network. Prosecutors alleged his empire used intimidation, bribery, and coercion to sustain a culture of obedience. Witnesses described employees who booked hotel suites for days-long private sessions involving multiple participants, substances, and cameras.
Explain why he's speaking out now.
He said he's speaking out because he believes Diddy's a predator. He wants accountability, and he doesn't want someone like this to run unchecked in the future.
The term freak-offs, once whispered about in the industry, became official language in court filings. Prosecutors said they were orchestrated spectacles produced and filmed by Diddy himself. Big Homie CC now claims those same events weren't just about pleasure or control. They were rituals, rehearsed acts meant to bind people through shame and secrecy. When we look at the mogul's current reality, the contrast is startling. Inside Fort Dix in New Jersey, he's working as a chaplain's assistant, enrolled in a treatment program, reading scripture in his cell. Outside those walls, the world is dissecting a parade of allegations, the LA probe, the civil suits, and the rumors now amplified by an ex-bodyguard who insists that darkness runs deeper than the law will ever admit. Diddy's team, led by attorney Jonathan Davis, has dismissed every accusation as false and defamatory, saying he looks forward to vindication in court. Yet Big Homie CC tells a different story, one where law enforcement can only touch the surface because the real machinery operates above jurisdiction.
Although interestingly, we haven't seen the indictments yet, there's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic, evidence. But
he says he has seen the strange side of fame firsthand. He describes walking into mansions guarded like fortresses, opening closets to find ritual symbols, and watching well-known performers enter rooms from which they emerged dazed, half-dressed, and unwilling to speak. He insists these scenes are not exaggerations but patterns repeated by people who use spirituality as a weapon of control. What unnerves him most, he says, isn't what he saw, but how easily others looked away. They make you sign, they take your phone, and then they show you something you can't unsee. According to insiders, the collection of mobile devices at those parties wasn't about privacy, it was about leverage. Meanwhile, the official investigations keep multiplying. In Florida, police confirmed receiving new statements from Hay, aligning with the LA report.
Daddy's recent album, The Love Album, and he lived with him from September 2022 to November of 2023, just a little over a year. And he says in that time, he was basically groomed. While he was making music, he was also subjected to a lot of illegal activities, whether it be drugs, sex, partying. There were other celebrities named in this lawsuit who were with underage women and were participating in sex trafficking.
Prosecutors in New York still hold RICO documents linking Diddy's business operations to alleged organized misconduct spanning decades. And while the mogul's attorneys argue he's merely a flawed man punished for his excesses, Big Homie CC frames it differently. He says Diddy is part of a hierarchy that rewards exploitation and sacrifices truth for power. In his words, when one insider speaks, 10 others vanish. The fear in his voice sounds real. He's told interviewers that cars have followed him, that he has survived attempts to poison him, and that he fled the United States entirely just to stay alive. Whether paranoia or proof, his warnings mirror a pattern seen in other Hollywood exposés, where those who cross the line suddenly face legal trouble, media smears, or worse. He now lives abroad, running an organization that rescues vulnerable people from trafficking networks. He claims that in the process of uncovering those rings, he found disturbing links back to entertainment executives and financiers once connected to Diddy's orbit. We can trace the pattern through history. Each time the mogul's name surfaces in scandal, from the K1ll lawsuit to the hotel footage that leaked last year, new claims appear from associates who describe eerily similar scenes: the loss of control, strange symbols, and the sense of being trapped in a system that trades intimacy for silence.
Like, wow, for Diddy, what? That was a person that I looked up to, was a mogul. And I listened to all the artists that he made superstars. And so to have a chance to be able to be signed to him, it was amazing. It was like, oh my God, I'm here. I finally did it.
Federal prosecutors may have failed to convict him of racketeering, but the narrative emerging from insiders paints a different verdict. One where the so-called empire of glamour was built on ritual humiliation and unspoken debts. Big Homie CC insists these ceremonies extend far beyond Diddy's circle and reach into politics, fashion, and tech, connecting elites through favors and fear. What makes his testimony even harder to dismiss is how the details echo official evidence.
A lot of black magic comes with human organs. Chicken sacrifices with the human heart. These things are going on. So the rumors are true, I'm gonna tell you that.
The indictment listed bribery, kidnapping, and witness tampering as predicate acts. Witnesses testified that Diddy offered payments to security guards and hotel staff to destroy surveillance footage. That kind of control over images, over perception itself, fits the same pattern of secrecy the bodyguard describes. And when we consider that Diddy's communications have been tightly monitored since his arrival at Fort Dix, yet his influence still ripples across industries, we have to ask, who's really protecting him, and why? The deeper we dig, the murkier it becomes. Big Homie CC claims Hollywood's obsession with youth and beauty is masking something grotesque. The aging participants in Diddy's circle, he says, are discarded, their worth measured not by talent, but by what can be extracted from them. He speaks of human exploitation, organ harvesting, and dark ceremonies that blur the line between ritual and crime. It sounds impossible, yet similar language appears in multiple anonymous accounts compiled by online investigators following the case. Each describes secret locations, coded invitations, and the same small circle of moguls and politicians who attend. And as we watch the moguls' public downfall, prison mugshots, restricted privileges, lawyers rotating through damage control, the question grows louder.
And I think Sam Bankman-Fried were in the unit that was one floor above mine. So in terms of like the setting, it's a fairly decent chance that the room I'm describing is similar to where Diddy is.
If a man with that much money and reach is suddenly isolated, is it justice or containment? Are we witnessing accountability, or are higher powers protecting the greater network that Big Homie CC swears exists? He says he's ready to release proof, recordings, and names, but insiders warn that anyone crossing those lines never makes it far. Which leaves us asking whether Diddy is only one piece of the puzzle. Who's controlling the rest? And how many more voices will disappear before the real story breaks open? Insiders now whisper that what Big Homie CC revealed may only scratch the surface of something sprawling through Hollywood's veins. They say the so-called freak-off gatherings weren't isolated vices, but part of a structured system where humiliation, submission, and occult symbolism were used as tools of advancement. We've seen this pattern before, each scandal brushed off as eccentric behavior, each accusation explained away as jealousy or revenge. But the timing feels too precise. As Diddy's sentence grows longer and his empire fractures, these stories gain traction from people who once stayed silent. They speak of rooms filled with celebrity faces, a handful of political figures, and even record label executives allegedly participating in acts that blend indulgence with ritual. Could these secret rites be the hidden price of fame? According to several industry sources, Diddy's private circle wasn't just a social scene, it was an initiation ground.
So, a lot of things in Hollywood are ritualistic for sure. And if you pay close attention to it, you can see it. When you see somebody holding up this like this, with the two fingers close like this, that's the hand sign of the Baphomet. They do say Luciferianism is real.
They claim new artists, producers, and influencers were drawn into what appeared to be exclusive networking events, but turned out to be ceremonies steeped in coded gestures and bizarre tests of loyalty. We can trace it through patterns that repeat across decades, the same guest lists, the same security protocols, the same rule: no phones, no witnesses, no questions. One insider says he saw blood markings on walls at an after-party in Beverly Hills. Another describes an off-site house near Calabasas where high-profile guests were blindfolded and led into soundproof rooms. The details shift, but the core remains identical, a culture where degradation earns acceptance and silence earns survival. Critics point to the contradiction at the heart of all this. On one hand, Diddy's legal team calls every allegation false and defamatory. On the other, the steady line of witnesses paints a repeating story that grows harder to dismiss. When prosecutors outline a decade-long pattern of coercion, and when bodyguards talk of pentagrams and secret hand signs, the stories begin to overlap in unsettling ways. A producer familiar with the Bad Boy Records network told investigators that these parties ran like theater, everything symbolic, everything with purpose. Even Diddy's choice of religious symbols and black and white imagery on stage has been re-examined by cultural analysts who now see hidden meaning in what once looked like simple branding. The coincidences stack up, and each denial seems to open more questions. Some believe the connection runs beyond music. Whispers link these gatherings to larger trafficking pipelines and financial operations hidden behind entertainment companies and luxury foundations.
I don't know this, but it just seems very suspicious when you go through and you look at in the history of different people that can make you go away if listen, I've worried about some of the things that I talk about on my show.
According to an ex-road manager who left the industry 2 years ago, artists were currency. The claim is that the events created leverage, footage, contracts, or favors that could later be used to keep people quiet or compliant. It's a terrifying picture of glamour masking bondage. And yet, the networks allegedly protecting these activities reach into places that make accountability nearly impossible. Lawyers, investors, publicists, even foreign businessmen, each with something to lose if the curtain drops. Meanwhile, Big Homie CC's fear has turned into obsession. He insists Diddy's attempts to silence him aren't personal revenge, but coordinated orders from higher up.
I don't know, it just feels like somebody's helping me. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I say God gave me 9 lives, I'm down to like 2, maybe 1.5. I say, you know what, I'm about to go ahead, take it to Kenya.
Yes.
And I'm lay low for a little while.
He says, powerful allies in Hollywood and beyond are shielding their own secrets by framing me as unstable. We can feel the paranoia tightening its grip, but we also can't ignore the way other insiders vanish right after speaking out. A personal assistant who once worked with Diddy reportedly went off-grid in early spring. A driver familiar with his travel routines stopped responding to calls. Even journalists covering his case have received anonymous messages warning them to stay off the story. Coincidence or cleanup? No one knows. The conspiracy of silence grows heavier with each leak. We've seen the footage from the hotel hallway, the lawsuits piling up, the investigations stretching coast to coast, yet each revelation feels incomplete, as though the true machinery lies beyond reach. The FBI has declined to comment on any potential links between Diddy's network and other ongoing probes. But entertainment lawyers quietly admit that sealed evidence could expose more than the music mogul himself. Big Homie CC believes these rituals tie into ancient systems of power that have been rebranded for the modern age, using fame as the lure and fear as the leash. When he talks about organ harvesting and witchcraft, it sounds impossible. And yet, the imagery echoes through multiple witness statements describing red rooms, medical equipment, and locked coolers at private venues. The stories converge like shadows meeting in a single point. We can sense the public turning restless. Each time Diddy's team pushes a new statement, new testimony surfaces online.
Same thing for Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the interesting thing about the Epstein and the theory about Epstein is we know he filmed people for sure on that island. He has a lot of movies, a lot of films of people that are very, very powerful political figures, and entertainers, business people. So, do you really believe that Jeffrey Epstein himself? And of course not. Of course not.
The contrast between his calm chapel work in Fort Dix and the monstrous picture painted by insiders feels almost surreal. Could both exist at once, a man preaching redemption by day while enforcers guard his buried past by night? According to one associate of a record label executive, he wasn't the mastermind, just a messenger. If that's true, it shifts the narrative from scandal to structure, a network that extends through movie studios, tech investors, and even political donors. Suddenly, Diddy's story becomes less about individual downfall and more about the ecosystem that created him. The longer we watch, the more patterns align. Former assistants, stylists, and producers, people who never met, describe the same coded behaviors, mirrors facing each other. Dark robes, small animal figures arranged in circles. They say those who refuse participation are blacklisted or framed for misconduct.
If you want your client and your famous actor to not be involved, or famous singer to not come out, here's the price. And that they're just selling to the individuals that are in those. This is what I heard. They're selling those videos. So if you're Tommy X And Tommy X is a big, big movie star. And he was at some of the Diddy parties. He was in one of those bedrooms with 3 other men, and he's happily married to a woman, and blah. Tommy doesn't want that video to come out. He does not want it to come out.
When we look at the timing of Diddy's arrest, some theorize it wasn't justice catching up, but the system discarding a liability. He became too visible, too unpredictable. It fits an old pattern: elevate, indulge, expose, erase. Big Homie CC's warnings suddenly sound less paranoid and more prophetic. He says Diddy's punishment is a message to others not to step out of line. Now insiders hint at fresh recordings surfacing, audio files allegedly containing conversations about cover-ups, hush payments, and coded instructions to clean the list. If authentic, they could implicate figures far beyond the music world. Some say this is why every new lawsuit faces delay after delay. Judges recuse themselves. Witnesses retract. Evidence disappears. We're watching something that feels choreographed from above. And if Big Homie CC truly possesses proof, he may be living on borrowed time. He's already told interviewers that strangers approached him with warnings. "They want me quiet," he says. Whether we believe him or not, the fear in his voice lingers long after the cameras shut off. The pattern keeps looping: accusations rise, denials follow, documents leak, and still the deeper story hides behind power. It's not just about one celebrity or one crime. It's about an entire culture built on the illusion of invincibility. We keep seeing the same faces at the same events, pretending the same darkness doesn't hover just outside the spotlight. As more insiders whisper, the puzzle edges start to align into something far bigger than any single scandal. And that leaves us here, staring into the smoke, wondering how much of Hollywood's sparkle is just camouflage for something unthinkable. If even a fraction of what Big Homie CC claims is real, how deep does this system go? Who's protecting the secrets that could shatter industries overnight? Tell us what you think. Are we witnessing the slow unraveling of a hidden empire, or just another round of smoke and mirrors? Stay curious, stay alert, and we'll see you in the next investigation.